Now we're gonna go ahead and prep our evaporator with the brackets and the hard lines. So go ahead and get your bracket out, and in your kit you're gonna have a 1/4-20 full-length stud, okay? Gonna go ahead and install that in this hole here. All right. Next, go ahead and pop these caps off. Make sure you use safety because there might be a little bit of pressure in there. Make sure you get that little rubber cap out of there too. Now I've already removed our 4 bolts from here. Go ahead and install your bracket onto the unit. Next, I'm going to install your hard lines. Pop your cap. Chew a nice number 10 O-ring. Lubricate the O-ring. Install it through the bracket and onto the unit. Also, for a little trick, you can drop a little oil on those threads. Same step again. Lubricate your O-ring through the bracket into the unit. Now, using our fancy tight spot wrenches, go ahead and tighten up your hard lines. Okay. Next, we're going to put our double-sided tape across your bracket so we can install our rubber boot. Now for this step, it might be a little hard to get the rubber boot over these caps. So go ahead and remove these caps. But as soon as we are finished with the rubber boot installation, make sure you cap them back. Okay, there you have it. Okay, now we're done. Go ahead and replace your caps. Also, when pushing on these, make sure you support them from the back so we don't loosen any connections here. Now onto the truck. All right, guys, we're getting ready to install our evaporator, but before we do that, we want to go ahead and get in here behind the dash, right here through the glove box, and clean this area right here. And that'll allow us to stick our ECU to the back of it. All right, we got our evaporator unit on the passenger side floorboard here. We're gonna go ahead and lubricate the O-ring to the number 6 line and connect it to the expansion valve on the unit. All right, guys, as you can see, we get the unit in place. I'm using this small 2x4 block to keep the unit in place, and it also keeps the pressure off the hard lines in the front of the vehicle. So now we could go on and move to the next step. All right, we're gonna go ahead and install our 1/4 by 3/4 with a sleeve. Just gives it a nice finish around the firewall area. So go ahead and replace your 2 bolts and then take out your last stud and replace that one. Now that we have our unit in place, we're going to go ahead and connect our number 10 AC line to the evaporator unit. Make sure you lubricate your O-ring, use 2 wrenches to tighten it up. All right, now we're going to cover your connection here with press tape. We're going to apply 2 strips of Velcro to the back of the ECU. So go ahead and snip the tie wraps that hold it and apply your strips. On to the next step. All right, our next step is with our dash bracket. If you look under here under your dash, if you don't have 2 holes where this might mount to your dash, you'll have to drill them out. Look in your instruction booklet and it'll tell you exactly how to do that. Since we have holes there, we're just gonna keep moving. I'm gonna install 2 number 8 U-nuts to our bracket. Now let's go and install our bracket. All right guys, our next step is go ahead and reinstall your radio. We're gonna move on to the installation of our control panel. One thing to check is that the light bulb that goes in the back of your control panel is still good. Now, we're about to level our unit. Once we have it level, go ahead and tighten all your bolts. All right, moving on to our next step. We're gonna install our underdash plenum on the passenger side.